Hey Nuka Knights! The 2012 Tving OSL Round of 8 is about to begin. And with this being the last Brood War OSL, I'm happy to report that they're milking it for all it's worth. Instead of the usual best of 3 format that's played over 2 days, 2 weeks, we're going to have a best of 5 over 4 days, so a full month of Round of 8, which I wholeheartedly approve of. Now, I'm asking for your predictions as usual, but this time it has a little bit of a twist, because this will be your last chance to give a prediction. I don't take predictions for the semifinals or the finals because I know I usually don't have time to read them in the commentaries. I have a bunch more stuff to talk about. So this is your last chance, and because of this, I wanted to give priority to a certain group of people. That group being people who have tried long and hard to get a prediction read on my channel but never have. If this is you, be sure to let me know before the prediction how long you've been trying to get one read, like 1, 2 years, 8 years, and I'll know you're lying if you write that. And this doesn't mean I'm gonna throw all the rest of the predictions out, by the way. I just wanted to give priority to those who deserve it. Now let's take a look at the Round of 8 matchups. The first one is a PvP, JangBi versus Mini. So we've got the reigning champ versus a royal roader, which is interesting. JangBi's PvP record is better than Mini's. At 54%, it's his second best matchup. But I don't really think Mini has played enough games to show his true level of play in the matchup yet. So that could make it a little bit more difficult to predict what's going to happen. Mini has shown a lot of good control and confidence in his recent games, not just versus Protoss too. So I do think this will make for a good series. But the outcome of the series might have been tipped off by Mini himself in an interview after he won in the round of 16. He admitted that he wouldn't feel comfortable playing a PvP series, and that's exactly what he got. So sorry Mini, but I think the Royal Road is probably going to end here. JangBi has good play and experience to back him up. So the winner of Mini versus JangBi will go on to face the winner of this series, Zero versus Hyvaa. More ZVZ, chaotic and unpredictable. But let's look at the recent play. Hyvaa barely made it out of the round of 16 through a tiebreaker, and it felt like a couple of his wins were more due to his opponent's failures than his own triumphs. Now Zero, on the other hand, has been consistently improving his ZVZ over the past year. This matchup used to be his downfall in tournaments, but Zero's been getting better and better to the point where ZVZ isn't a problem anymore. So I do think Zero will make it through to the semifinals to face JangBi. Now let's take a look at the other side of the bracket. First up is Flash versus Shine. This should be a hilarious matchup, but let's examine it a little bit. Yes, Flash was forced into a tiebreaker after losing 2 games in the round of 16. So Flash has definitely not been up to his usual level of play, probably because of practicing StarCraft 2. And yes, Shine 3-0'd his group in convincing fashion, using his best matchup to destroy the competition. So I think those facts leave us with a little bit more even matchup than we'd normally consider this to be. But how can you bet against Flash? You can't! You just wouldn't be playing the odds to bet against the Terminator. So even though Shine is on a winning streak and Flash is slipping a little bit, I'd still have to give it to Flash. I think we're going to see him get his head back on his shoulders in this series. And last but not least, a battle between teammates, Fantasy versus Sue. Now this matchup might be the single biggest uphill climb for a player in the round of 8. That player being Sue. Because Fantasy is on a 10-game winning streak. He's won 18 out of his last 20 games. He's played better than anyone else in the OSL so far, plus he has never been defeated by a teammate in an OSL. He plowed through Bisu in the Batu OSL, he's taken out Hyuk multiple times in the round of 8. So really, Sue is a major underdog. He's made it to the semifinals before, so I think he'll be able to keep his nerves in check. But I just don't know if he'll be able to take down the Vulture terrorist. Well, at least he gets the babes. So those are your round of 8 matchups. Now, in addition to these matchups, OGN will be hosting Legends matches. These will happen before the games, but I'll probably end up casting them a few days later to keep on schedule. These matchups will be Go Rush versus the Marine, so Battle of the Commentators, Nalra versus Zelos, which will be crazy, July versus Reach, and Nada versus Anytime. And it's also been hinted at that there will be a Legends match before the finals. Gee, I wonder which 2 players they'll pick for that. But anyway, this round of 8 should be superb, and I'm looking forward to casting it. Now, my casting schedule will probably be a bit hectic, because I'm on late shift for the next month, and I'm also traveling in a couple of weeks to meet Dimitri for the first time. I think you know him better as Ranchin, so that will be fun. I hope to at least get a Nuke at Night and a dual comm out of that somehow, but we'll see what happens. But gird those loins, because the round of 8 starts soon. Alright, I'll see you guys soon for commentaries.